Hey guys, you probably clicked on this video because the title interested you. How can somebody make that much money from that little bit of money? Well, it's accurate. I'll show you here. We'll get into this in just a minute, but I want to talk to those of you maybe just starting. I understand that some of my listeners, some of my subscribers out there appreciate your faithful subscriptions there. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I try to put out a new video about 1 or 2 per month. I try. It doesn't always happen, but I put it more out in the winter months. But for those of you who are just starting, I want to encourage you with something here. Right now, the day that I'm making this, it's June 3rd, 2016. And we're right in the middle of kind of the dearth or the desert or famine time of sales in eBay. Now, I understand you have those good days and you have those bad days, and they can happen anytime. Like, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, I had a record day. We sold a little over $1,000 in one day, which was great. And but for the most part, you're going to see that eBay has its seasons. And I've noticed that for us, at least, September through February is just phenomenal. It's excellent. But March through August is always that rough time. It's pretty difficult to sell some stuff, and I think it's just because of the holiday season, Christmas coming up with December, and then people get Christmas money or whatever, and so they keep spending through January or February. I even heard one guy say that some people like to spend money on other people through November and December, but they like to spend money on themselves on January, February. So January, February seems to be the best time of the year for my wife and I. But my wife and I have been selling on eBay since 2014, and that we started in November. We picked a great month to start. But I've been having some people contact me, some friends of mine, wanting to get started, and they're wanting to start in March or April or May, and it's just such a difficult time to get started because you want this forward momentum. You want this momentum to be able to carry you, and if you're starting in these difficult months, it's going to be difficult to hang on. So just let me give you some advice. If you're starting right now in this March through August time frame, just stick to it because it's going to get better. And the more inventory you put on for these hot months, those September through February months, it'll be worth it in the long run. So what I'm doing right now is I'm posting as many things as I can. We have just a little bit over 500 items. And so we got our feedback. Our only negative dropped off. We're back up to 100%, so I'm excited about that. One more thing to cover before we get into the content of the video here. People have asked me, why do you make these videos? What's the purpose? Aren't you just giving more, just a difficult time to yourself because more people would be selling? Competition, that's the word I'm looking for. Well, I'm not too concerned with competition. With the number of people that are selling on eBay already and the number of buyers and the unique items that I have, I'm not concerned about competition. Usually when people go on eBay, they're looking for a very specific item. And if I don't have that very specific item, they're not buying from me. But if I do have that very specific item, what are the odds that you're going to have that as well? And so I'm always trying to be competitive with my pricing, but I'm not worried about other people taking over eBay. And this is kind of my pay it forward thing here. And plus, a lot of friends have contacted me. I mentioned I have some friends who contact me and ask me questions all the time. So I'm hoping videos like this are kind of a help. So this is kind of a tips video for them. All right, to get to the content of the video here, these Patagonia loafers. Patagonia is always a brand to keep your eye open for, and I paid $4 for these. They were pretty rough shape. I took some, you can kind of see here, I took some polish. You can still see the scuffs though, but in the condition they were in, they still sold for $32. So that was pretty good. I'm sorry, I paid $6 for those. I don't know what I said, but I paid $6 for those. And then let's go to the next one. These MBT, yes, that is the brand there. I'll show you the logo here. MBT right up there on the top. they kind of, let me see if I can find a better photo here. They kind of have this wave look to them. They're an orthopedic shoe. And by the way, if you're wondering how I get these templates, this is what I use. I use Garage Sale for Mac. And yes, I do use Mac, but Garage Sale is a great software, and you can use that. But these are Katinas is the model, a sandal, and in the middle of summer, those would sell really well. And they were new, never used. They had great tread on them, never been scuffed or worn. So I sold them for $60 with $7 shipping. And I paid, let me look real quick, I paid $6 for these as well. All right, this next one, I just put on here, I listed this one, let's see, over a year ago. And finally it sold. I paid only $2 for it. And it sold for $29.75. I wanted to take advantage. eBay right now is doing a promotion thing where if you do a percentage off, you run a promotion, then you get 50% off your final value fees. So I did that, and it's only $2 off of the $224 off, and sold for $29.75. Okay, and so that was a good sell there. You can see it's just a really unique pattern, really old school. It's just taking a little bit of lag here. See, really old school logo there. Another thing I sold was this 1997. Yeah, vintage applies here. Anything that's going to be 20 years old or around that is going to be qualified as vintage on Etsy and eBay. You see Marvin the Martian. Put a couple other keywords in here. I went ahead and modeled this one myself because I'm so hot, you know. Nah, I'm kidding. But Marvin the Martian, I put Space Jam in there because it's kind of a buzzword. Now, I took a best offer of $100 on this just because it sat for a while, and I figured, I just don't want it sit until winter. It sat through a majority of last winter. I did pay $18 for this. I'm sorry, $17 for this. So we spent a little bit more, but I knew that this leather jacket would sell to a very specific person who was looking for this. St. Croix is another brand to keep your eye out for there. St. Croix or Croix, I think the X is silent, but we sold this as an auction, and it's just a great Italian label. Let me show you what the label looks like. And sold it for $21.99. And we only spent $1.50 on this one. We got this one in a haul in Oklahoma City, and the prices are just excellent there in Oklahoma City. If you can ever go out of town, and I mean, if you have these prices at your thrift store, good job, because it's not everywhere that you see these prices. But $1.50 is what we paid for that, and I'll take that return anytime. Joseph Bank is not typically one that I look for. If it's a suit that's in excellent condition, then I will pick it up. $74.39 is what we sold this for. Kind of a weird price, but we paid. I picked this one up in Oklahoma City as well. Paid $5 for this suit. Return was pretty good. It's a wool silk blend, and I'll show you the other photos for it. And always, one thing about the Joseph A. Bank, the Signature collection is going to be their upper brand. Signature Gold is going to be their top model, but Signature is always going to be one of those top tier styles that they sell. And so they have quite a few different models there. But this is the Gordon model and the Signature. And flat front pants always sell well, and very common size, so I knew it would go pretty quick. Here's one of the big ones. Sold this for $129 is what I took for it. I took a best offer, $129, and I didn't think I'd get this for it. I thought it would sit for a while, especially with it being summer, but people love this vintage 1990s, we call it the color block logo, and anything with that big logo on it from the 90s, especially Tommy Hilfiger, you're going to make bank on it. Paid $2 for this thing, and so it was worth it. Is this legit? You might be asking that question. Is this legitimate? Well, yes. Sold for $139.49. I did take a best offer, $125. That's not reflected here, and plus they paid $10 shipping. I mean, this is insane. People's mouths drop to the floor when they see some of these prices. But here's my favorite one that we sold. Paid $2 for this tie. I'm sorry. We paid actually $4 for this tie. I'm looking at the wrong number here. $4 for this tie, and sold it for $100. $100. So $96 profit every day, all day. That is the brand right there. Now you got to be careful with Hermes here. A lot of fakes out there, so you got to be real careful with that. I once sold an Hermes tie that had a big old bleach stain on the front of it for $30. So it's a very coveted brand. People buy it just for the brand. I don't know what these people are going to do with a tie that has a bleach stain on the front of it, but hey, it's my gain and their gain as well. It's a win-win situation. That's the thing about eBay, is they get the benefit of getting something they're looking for, and you get the benefit of selling something for a higher price than what you paid for it. And that's what it's all about. So I hope this video has been a help to you. I hope if you maybe are on the fence about selling on eBay, maybe this will be what kind of sends you over just to test the waters a little bit. And yes, you can test the waters in these slower months, and so you don't have to wait until September through February to do it, but it sure is worth it if you do start then. So happy selling to you. I hope this video has been a blessing to you. Remember, always put God first, and God always blesses who put Him first.